From the studios of TLC Talk Radio, it's DT on Our Minds. I'm your girl, Tasha.
And I'm that fat girl, Dana.
And your game show host, Voice. Don't forget to check us out on our social media pages, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and of course, Instagram. And check us out daily, multiple times a day on TLCTalkRadio.com. Hey, friend.
Hi, friend.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Listen, I can breathe. The ragweed and pollen count this year must have been bananas.
It's all that rain that we had early in this year.
For weeks, I have been dealing with it a little bit. So it's nothing major. I haven't really dealt with my sinuses used to. Everybody knew like in July, August, I was high on Benadryl all the time. So I didn't know what you were talking about. I'd be like, what? You only got a couple hours of alertness with me. And then, I don't know. So in the last couple years, I haven't had to deal with it. The allergies this year made up for those years.
Oh, yeah.
I have not slept. And I know that every time we take, I'm sleepy. But today, I'm going to throw you out of here so fast.
Actually, I want to get all of the I'm sleepy because you say it a lot.
A lot.
And I put a couple in our little teaser video.
We should put it to music. We should put it to a New Edition track. And yeah, I'm with it.
Is there a New Edition track that has to do with
nothing?
sleeping?
I just wanted to include my 6 friends who I need to get back together. Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay, just for a
random. That's on my mind. DT on our minds. Tasha and a New Edition reunion is on my mind. See what happens when you're sleepy? You're delirious and you'll connect things that may or may not have been made for connection. But, whatever.
Okay.
I'm with it. Yeah.
All right. Moving on.
Right?
Breaking news today. A car drives through Woodfield Mall.
Listen.
2 injured and driver is in custody.
And so for me, that news was relief because I got it as I was exiting work that there was an active shooter in Woodfield Mall. And I was like, okay, I can't, like my brain and my heart would not accept that story. It was just like, we're not dealing with this right now. We are getting in the car and we are going home. We cannot focus on this until we have a minute. And so the only thing I did was kind of text my relatives and say, y'all okay? They live that way. And they're like, we're fine. Why? And I explained. I was like, they're claiming it's an active shooter. I haven't seen it. And so someone turned on the news and was like, yeah, it's a wrong story. I'm not sure who told you that.
It was a vehicle.
It was a vehicle. And so that was fine. But the issue was, it's like, even the news said, hey, we got the report that it was an active shooter too.
Right.
But people tend to panic.
Yeah.
And
well, when people are running, you think active shooter now.
Because
you didn't before, but now you do. But you don't think car driving through mall.
No, like this is a scene from the Blues Brothers or something.
Right.
Like what?
But it was like a slow speed thing because there's actual footage of, and of course, instead of having their camera the correct way on their phone.
Well, everybody's not a media professional, Dana.
I don't care.
Oh, Lord. Dana's public service announcement is to please turn your phone to the landscape view when you're taking video.
Always.
Like,
no one wants to see this. Ever.
That's hilarious.
Never, ever. I'm going to... have I showed you that thing that was on the nightly show about filming?
No.
Okay. I'll show it to you. I'll post it on our Facebook and Twitter. It's really funny. So it's like shooting class 101.
Sure.
Basically, it's all about the aspect ratio. And nobody wants to see. It's about cops beating up black people in general. Well, because it was a big thing when this show came out. Okay. It was happening, more often than not. And it's like, so
nothing's changed.
The narrative that you're trying to create, it's done really well. This video is done really well. And he's like, you want to catch the ass whipping on
No. We want to catch who was doing the ass whipping. See, y'all done made me mad.
And then he says something about the black that you want to be focused on is not the bars on the side, but getting the The ass beating.
It sounds like something Dave Chappelle wrote.
It's very similar to something that he would write. So I will post that so you guys see it. But I used to show it to my students because I'm like, I will give you a D if you come back and it's not in, it's in portrait mode. I'm going to give you a D. I don't care how good it is. I don't care because I told you.
Right. And I'm reiterating.
I'm not accepting that kind of work.
Sure.
I mean, it could be the best thing you've ever shot in the entire world. No. You're getting a D. I don't care. I don't care.
It's better than an A.
You're not listening.
I'm with it.
Well, I mean, I always thought D's were something that you would give somebody who had at least had some kind of effort.
Sure.
And turned into a project.
Sure.
F is for not
failing to do anything. Right.
So, I thought I was giving people a break.
Right.
But that's just me. That's just how I teach.
I get it. But yeah. So yeah, they were taping and then got half of the footage, assumedly. Is that what you were fussing about in Woodfield?
Yeah.
So Dana's face though, she's like,
I can't. Like, I just can't. Like, you're not Instagramming, you're not Facebooking, you're actually filming something that is newsworthy if you film it correctly.
But they're amateurs. Like, they don't know.
Care. I'm letting you know now.
Okay, well, I mean,
everyone should know this.
We're going to up the listenership, clearly.
Right, because I'm going to yell at you until you freaking film correctly.
That's how we endear the listeners. I don't know that that's going to work out, but I get where you're coming from. Certainly it looks strange.
Irritating. Certainly. And what makes it worse is when they blow up the image behind it and it's like two images going. Oh, that irritates me even more.
They're trying to compensate for the improper
aspect ratio.
What Dana said. You all can look that up if you're not a videographer already. It's really sad. I hope that they find, because one of the questions that I heard on the NBC5 was they were trying to determine if this was somebody who had gone the wrong way and lost control of the car, and I'm like,
which could have been okay because they entered the Sears, and then if you would have stopped, I could see that would have been like maybe they had a heart attack or they just had a spasm or seizure, but they kept through the mall.
Yeah, so it's unlikely. It's probable. It's possible, but not probable.
Right.
That this was the issue. So boo for that.
Okay.
Yeah. That's pretty scary because most of the time, and one of the commentators, one of the anchors was saying that, they were kind of describing the person that they saw in custody, and they may mention that they didn't appear older. And of course, her point was that sometimes it's a situation where an elderly person has lost control of the car, or they've gotten confused or hit the gas versus the brake. I've never understood that.
I don't either.
But I pray that I don't ever find myself in that situation to go, oh, this is what they meant. It's not.
Oh, I didn't mean to take out the side of your house.
My fault.
My bad.
I'm just, I guess, being an educator, coming from drills and all the things we have to rehearse for and practice for, I was just glad it wasn't a shooter. Not that we wanted somebody driving through the mall, obviously. And certainly my thoughts are with the people who were hurt, and I hope that they're not very serious injuries.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough.
That's all we know so far.
Yeah.
Speaking of active shooter drills, we had one today at work.
If we have one, we're gonna get shot in the drill because
really,
I'll tell you offline why. I don't, I don't want to, be in trouble.
Okay. Well,
pray
since
that this
I
doesn't happen.
I work in the kitchen, so basically we were just told to stay away from the windows, and we could keep working because we knew it was coming. We knew what time the drill was and everything, but the students didn't. So not all of us listen very well. So there,
yes, adults get on your nerves.
All
too.
our doors were locked, which was standard procedure. But there's windows in some of our doors.
Okay.
And I had moved one of the warmers so I could block one of the door windows, so you couldn't see coming, like going straight back into the kitchen where I was standing.
Sure.
However, I didn't move it enough so it would block the other doors that are facing this way. People just kept standing in those doors. Not in the doors, but like in the line of sight. Like, I'm like, if you can see the door, they can see you.
People don't realize the purpose of these, and not just to say we did it and write it down administratively. Literally, what you do in practice, you'll do in the game. Yeah. And so you have to, unfortunately, that's a part of our life. And yeah, I'm gonna need them to take it a little bit more seriously, because I'm serious about protecting, my students, and ensuring I get home to my family.
Oh yeah,
because
because we've talked about that before.
Listen, I'm not going. It's gonna be a 8th grade teacher and a set of 8th graders who gonna take you out, and you ain't gonna understand what happened. We are all going home safely.
But I have random thoughts.
Sure,
that's who I am.
It's on our minds. That's the title of the show.
That was on my mind for a second. For a hot second, I was thinking, I don't think we're gonna have an active shooter in the school because there's not enough white boys.
Jesus Christ. And so our first set of hate mail will come from people who didn't like that statement.
Hear me out.
I'm clear with where you're going.
I'm just like, I was trying to look up, Siri was not helping me very much.
She didn't like what you had to say either.
I'm like, what? I'm trying to Google, like, how many active shooters have been not white and
Understood.
Not male. And it would just give me lists of how many active shootings there have been. So I'm feeling
it's on your mind.
What's on my mind is if Google don't know and if Siri don't know, it's because it's all white dudes.
Well, I just pray that nobody is in an active shooter situation. Drills I ride with, but woo, Lord.
I pray that as well.
Yeah.
But I just, I looked around my school and there's like 4 white boys.
You are a
like
mess.
4.
It only takes one, though.
I know it only takes one. However, I don't see it. I don't see that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But see, that's the good thing about having relationships with the students. Like,
right.
They'll say, listen, there's a little boy in my class. My students don't even know I have a podcast or a station. They know that I do something in media. They don't know the extent. And when I tell you he knows everything, but he tells everything. But meaning to us, to the adults. Okay. So we'll never be in the dark about anything. Apparently, last year's students who have graduated, and I love them, some of them do know about the show. They found some pictures of all of us, the 8th grade team, and put us on Snapchat, which I can't operate. I don't know what I'm doing.
Snapchat is not for us.
And they, put their own spin on our personalities. And apparently I'm trending on Snapchat as that bad bee from Inglewood. Okay. So I hear about it. The students are like, yeah. I said, okay, whatever. So they mentioned it to me, as we got to the end of class. I'm wrapping up, getting ready to dismiss them. And I'm like, hey, go ahead and tell them I'm on my way to Inglewood right now. Because the comment was, are you really from 63rd Street? And I was like, was I supposed to walk in and shoot you to prove that I was from 63rd Street? Like, what kind of question is that? Why would I make that up? But, I don't know if it's, they expected some stereotypical look or act or whatever. Then you got the other group of kids who are like, no, we believe. And I'm like, y'all, I'm not a criminal. Right. And everybody like I say in the intro to A Vibrant Mix, there's plenty of good in Inglewood, and you're listening to one right now. So, I'm like, y'all, calm down. It is what it is. I'm not out here, falling into somebody's thought of what an Inglewood person should be like, because there are a variety of us in the community.
Just like,
hello. But we get a bad rap, and they're like, you kind of tough. I mean, I guess I am if you're 13, but I don't.
She's quite the marshmallow.
I'm right. Like unless you do you cross me or a family member,
or
then
someone young or elderly.
Yeah, because then now that's very different.
Exactly.
That's now you bothering vulnerable people, and I'm not letting that ride. I can't stand a bully of any type, and I don't care if they're in leadership or just a little kid bothering another little kid. I don't do that well. So no, we don't do bullies, little babies.
No,
or grown babies. So yeah, I'm that bad bee from Inglewood. And then they had other things to say about my colleagues. Mine was probably the least flattering, but in their mind they thought they were complimenting me, so that's why it was hilarious. I'm like, okay, well, whatever, as long as they know.
See that as a compliment. Okay,
I mean, I'll take it, I guess. I don't care.
I don't care so much that I've actually put it on my radio show.
Right. I mean, I wasn't offended is what I mean. Like, okay. All right, babies.
That's where we want to be. That's where we want to be. So, today, while I was preparing for the show, which apparently I did not prepare very well because I only have 3 topics. And one of them is this next topic.
Okay.
So I'm preparing for the show. I'm sitting in my bed because that's what I do with my computer, and I'm, looking up stuff. And all of a sudden, something hits me in the leg.
What?
It's a stink bug.
What?
Do you know the stink bug?
I don't, but listen, this is creeping me out. I can't. Why is the stink bug bothering you? And why is he in the house? And I can't take these animals and insects and stuff and arachnids. I need them to go away.
Yeah, well, these things look like, they're like a cross between a moth and something. They look prehistoric, like most bugs do.
Is that what it is? Is that why I don't like them? That's interesting. Go on.
Yeah, you have a thing with the prehistoric things.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Liking them.
Boo.
But they're about maybe an inch, and they're hard. Yes,
because if you smash them, then now they stink.
They crunch and okay.
Like Cheerios crunch, or what we doing?
Here's what happened. So I looked at it and I said, "Oh, you need to go." So I flicked it, and then it landed on the floor, and just looked at me like, "I'm going to hit you again. I don't care." And I said, "Oh, is that so?" And I took a.
But this argument you're having with the stink bug, though.
So I took something and I squished it, and it crunched, and it also all over me.
Oh God! Like, my whole head is just like. If I dream about this, I don't care what time it is. I'm calling you.
So yeah,
did you get the last laugh, or did he?
Well, he was dead.
I mean,
so
was that his final act of retaliation?
Possibly.
Okay.
So I ran to the bathroom and scrubbed myself up. Stink bugs.
I'd have had a whole conniption. I'd have canceled the show. Like, this is not going to work out. Have a good day.
So I have one of my friends at work. She likes to prank people. Yeah. So every day or every week, the guy who comes in who checks for like mice and stuff, because we've got traps and because we're in food service, so
right,
you gotta make sure.
Not really hanging out with mice.
Right.
Boo.
So she has scared everyone in the cafeteria but me, because I'm not afraid of all these little things. Like, she'll throw like a fake mouse. The other day, she threw a fake spider at me.
She still got her teeth? Because that wouldn't work that well if I worked with y'all.
Well, she does it really far away. Like,
she better. But I'd catch her. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
You got to come back to work.
She tried to do it with a fake spider because we're decorating for Halloween. She did that yesterday. And I looked at it and go, oh. And she goes, why can't I scare you? And I'm like, because I'm used to bugs and spiders and mice and all this stuff. Why is it your
desire to scare me, crazy woman?
Because that's the way, it's her fun.
Is it?
Yeah.
We need meat. Because the wrong thing to do is frighten someone and wait for their reaction. Like, you don't know in the normal fight or flight response, you don't know which one you're gonna get.
I think she knows by now because she's done everyone, in the cafeteria.
So she does take the time to get to kind of know you before she. Okay, because
to see us, she gonna get decked before. But every time she'll just throw something at towards me, and I'm like, So
if I throw like spaghetti at her, then I'm inappropriate at work?
Possibly.
No, that's not gonna ride, ma'am. Now you gotta go home.
Like, she'll throw a hairnet, or she'll throw a fake spider, or
that's never been fun to me. And I don't know if and now as an older person, I'm thinking about people with anxiety, and now you done triggered them, and I can't say stuff on the radio, but it's not gonna go well. Don't do that to everybody, ma'am, for your own safety. Be cool. But she knows you, so that's the difference.
It's kind of, it's not like she did it to a complete stranger. Like, if it was my first day and she did that, I would be like, for reals?
I'd have came to your job to hang out.
But,
like, can I talk to you for a minute after work?
You're funny. I know I can get away with stuff with you.
I'm teasing. We are not beating up anybody.
No.
But I don't advise that either.
No, I don't either.
I don't advise that.
But, if you know somebody enough, you can get away with quite a lot. Yeah. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, it's like if you put like Thriller on for me, it's just I don't like you anymore, and you've got to leave.
That's why I'm not making you watch the It 2 trailer.
I appreciate you.
Or Dr. Sleep.
Yeah, none of these things. I'm not fooling. Look, I can't deal with regular old Thriller, so
yeah, which is not really that scary.
I don't really fool with dead people,
but they're undead.
That is the point. That is exactly the point. I can't take it.
So, a couple of years ago, when zombies were becoming popular,
they weren't already? Maybe just because I was a chicken, they were always.
Well, I mean, when they started getting real popular, like
I wouldn't know.
And Easter would pop around.
And then
you know where I'm going?
Yeah, with Jesus Christ from the dead. I'm with him. He came back gloriously. He didn't look dead. I don't know. I wasn't there, but I'm just saying.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, listen.
Well, because he was only undead for a couple of days. It wasn't like, it was been 6 months and he's...
Yeah, there was no time for rotting or anything. And, he's God, so I'm with it. It's just I can't. It's not the same. It's Thriller Jesus. I'm with Jesus. Boo for Thriller. I can't take it.
Now, if Michael Jackson would come back and do Thriller now, I could see how that would creep you out. Just Dad. Because it's been a few years. 10. And he's a little probably slimy by now.
I'm good.
His dance moves are very fluid.
Mike's the man, but unfortunately with all the surgery he had, he started to look like, one of the cast members, just regularly.
Without makeup.
Yeah. It's like, oh man. And he was such a gorgeous man. I wish he could have seen it, but with whatever his set of issues were.
And he had many. And never had therapy, I'm pretty sure.
Nope. That's not something that's
our post positive for today.
Get therapy. Especially because when you come into a lot of money, then it's very easy for the people around you to just kind of normalize whatever your behavior is.
But he had always had money, so.
But that's my point. Like, I think when he was with his brothers and his parents, that's debatable. But at least they kind of had each other. When he became uber popular and was like, later for y'all.
And I'm done with you.
Right. Good day. Or not.
You're off my payroll.
Right. Then there was no one who really knew him. to say, hey, you're tripping.
Right. This is crazy.
Right. So that's, that's the post positive. Please get therapy. I'm with it. Therapy does not mean that, something's wrong. It means that you need what you need.
Right.
You need to heal.
And sometimes you just need direction on where to go.
I think that's a great place to wrap. From the studios of TLC Talk Radio, you've been listening to DT on Our Minds. I'm your girl, Tasha.
And I'm that fat girl, Dana.
And her game show voice, I love it so much. Don't forget to follow us on our social media pages, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. I had to think about it for a minute, like, well, yeah. And check us out.
Not on MySpace.
Not on MySpace.
No.
Wow, MySpace.
Or Snapchat. That's never going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing, but on the regular internets, Al Gore's internet, right? Al Gore's internet. Go ahead and check us out daily at tlctalkradio.com. We will catch you next week. Yay!
Peace.